Hey, this is Ty Brown, the dog trainer with dogbehaviouronline.com, and I'm coming to you with a question from one of our readers. The question says, we have a dog who is mid-size and has always been well behaved. He's a Border Collie mix. As he has been indoors for more and more time over winter, he's very protective. Starts barking at the doorbell and growls when friends or guests want to pet him. Has even snapped at my brother-in-law after the brother-in-law continued to try to pet him again and again. After warning with growls again and again, he turned and snapped and scared all of us. He even trapped our neighbors in his car, in the neighbor's car, protecting the home. I was inside their home visiting his wife. So let me see. Even trapped our neighbor in his car, in the neighbor's car, protecting their home. Okay. So to be honest here, and I don't mean any offense as I say this, but I see a lot of what I would call handling errors. This dog is being handled poorly. And what I mean by that is you've got a situation, you say it, the brother-in-law is petting him over and the dog's growling and growling and growling, and finally, the dog turns and snaps, and you say it scared all of you. But all along the way, the dog is telling you, I'm about to bite, I'm about to bite, I'm about to bite, I'm about to bite, and everybody's ignoring him. Everybody's ignoring him. And so, it shouldn't come as any surprise. Now, having said that, the dog should never bite. That shouldn't be a case, and so I'll talk here in a second about the training. But from a handling perspective, this dog is being handled wrong. What on earth was going on with your brother-in-law that he keeps going back to pet this dog who obviously does not want to be pet? The dog is telling him off over and over and over, and your brother-in-law says, oh, let me go pet him. We've got to be smarter than that. And on that level, we've got to be smarter as dog owners than that. I am very specific on how people interact with my dogs. If they're at my home, if I'm at a park, if people want to interact with my dogs, they may, but they will only do it based on my standards. Because most people that I've met are not terribly good with dogs, as evidenced by your brother-in-law here. He has no clue that I shouldn't keep trying to pet a dog who's growling at me. And so I know I'm kind of laughing here because because it seems like such common sense. But a lot of people are like this. They don't have the common sense when it comes to dogs. And so as the dog owner, I'm going to give them that common sense. And if they don't want it, then they cannot interact with my dog. It's as simple as that, because my dog is not just a furry little person. My dog is a creature that has completely different drives and tendencies and instincts and all sorts of other stuff. And so if they don't understand that, I'm willing to help them, and I'm willing to help them so they can interact with my dog the right way. But I'm not going to put my dog in a situation where he's feeling stressed, fearful. The dog is feeling bad, feeling nervous, which is what was happening here. Your dog was feeling awful. And yet, the situation was allowed to continue. So that's handler error number one that I see. Handler error number two that I see is you went over to your neighbor's house and the dog was just loose. Dogs should not be left loose in a common area. And when I say common area, I'm guessing we're talking front yard here. That shouldn't happen. If you have an unfenced yard, your dog should not be left loose there. If you go to a friend's house, the dog should not be left loose there. The best trained dogs in the world, and I've trained some pretty awesome dogs, that are great police dogs, or are protection dogs, or even just very high trained companion dogs. The best trained dogs in the world are prone to do something stupid if they're just left out in a situation where there's all these variables. And so this dog should not be left in a front yard alone to where he has the opportunity to be startled by, here comes a car, oh, who's this in the car, let me kind of growl at them, because the dog probably felt like it was part of his space because he wasn't too far from home. I'm guessing. I don't have all the information here. And so, like I said, there's some handling errors here where this dog is not being handled as he should. Let me get into some solutions as well, though. Number one, this dog needs some focused exercise. You've mentioned that the problems have gotten worse over winter. Now, the problem here is we can't wait for spring for them to be solved. Number one, because you've got a liability right now. But number two, a lot of dogs, when it comes to aggression, it starts like snowballs. It gets bigger and bigger. So with a dog like this, the chance exists that here comes spring and you're getting out more. The problem is now entrenched, and so we've got an issue. So we've got to make sure that we're getting him focused exercise right now. This is true for all dogs, but especially Border Collies, who are so smart and have so much of this like pent-up energy. They need to get it out, but they need to get it out both mentally and physically. One thing I always say is you can tire a dog out faster through their mind than you can through their body. And this is almost always true of a Border Collie. Those dogs can run forever. And so mentally I want to tire him out. And so what that means to me is structured walks, where the dog is walking right by my side. He's not You know, he's not up ahead of me. He's not anywhere else. He's paying attention to just me on a structured walk. And I'm doing that for 30 minutes to an hour a day at least, if not more. You know, we're playing fetch and getting out some physical energy. We're doing training throughout the day to kind of, you know, to kind of keep his mind active. You know, it's not time that you're taking. It's, okay, it's dinner time, you're going to do a downstay. All right, we're going out the door, you're going to wait. Okay, it's time to eat, you're going to sit. And so it's training throughout the day. I call it integration training. And so we need to exercise his mind and his body that way. Along those same lines, you need to step up his obedience. You know, a dog like this, we need to give him solutions. He's not going to, well, no, I'm sorry, he is going to come up with solutions on his own, but the solutions he's going to come up with for his stress, for his anxiety, are the solutions we don't like. You know, the solutions he's going to come up with are things like, you know, growling and biting at people. And so what we need to do instead is, you know, we need to give him solutions in the form of, okay, when you're feeling stressed, you're just going to go down and lie over there on the bed for the next hour. So, you know, for example, in the case of your brother-in-law here, when we see that the dog's getting stressed, we need to give him an out. Again, he's not going to just think in his head, oh, this guy's stressing me out. How can I communicate with him in a way that's productive? He's not going to think that. He's going to think, what does instinct tell me to do? And instinct tells him, bite this guy, you know, get this guy off of me. He's bugging me. So like I say, we need to step in and say, okay, you're stressed. Here's a strategy. And the strategy is, like I say, go lie down. Well, in fact, with most of my clients, that's what we do. You know, whether it's the dog stress at the doorbell or stress when people are over, we need a long downstay or a place command. Place meaning go to a bed and stay. We need to put the dog in a situation where he can be around the family, but he can be around the family in a very structured way, so that he can't wander. You know, the dog's mind tends to follow the body. So the body wanders, the mind wanders, and eventually the dog snaps like he did. We need to, you know, kind of control that body, and with it, the mind has to think and process and work through issues rather than just give in and act like a fool, like, you know, like your dog did. You know, he acted ridiculously. He shouldn't be biting, but at the same time, he was pushed into it. And so, like I say, it should come as no surprise that it happened. So, like I say, what I'm seeing here is a combo of you need better handling, you need better outlets for his exercise, for his mind, for his body, and you need better obedience so that we can give him something to do when he's not feeling right. And if you can do those things, I'm confident that you can see some really great results with your dog. So, time to get to work. Best of luck.